The Galactic Council's Biodiversity Assessment Chamber fell silent as Madeline pulled up her datapad, scrolling through what appeared to be an impossibly long list. The other species representatives, a crystalline Vethari, two gelatinous Colmex, and the insectoid Praxian ambassador, stared at the human researcher with what could only be described as horrified fascination. "I'm sorry," the Vethari delegate said, her translucent form shimmering with confusion. "Could you repeat that question?" Madeline looked up from her notes, her expression perfectly neutral. "I asked whether you wanted the extinction-level events from this week or the total count throughout Earth's history. It's an important distinction for accurate record-keeping." The Praxian's antennae drooped. This week? Well, technically, we had a near miss with an asteroid on Tuesday," Madeline explained, tapping her stylus against the datapad. "Class C extinction potential. Would have wiped out most large land mammals if it had hit. Passed within 50,000 kilometers of the surface. We've been tracking it for months, obviously." Easton, her fellow human researcher and partner on the assessment team, leaned back in his chair with an amused smile. "Don't forget the supervolcano tremors in the Yellowstone caldera. Seismic activity's been elevated all month." "Right. Good catch," Madeline nodded, making a note. "The Yellowstone supervolcano. That's been overdue for about 40,000 years. When it blows, and it will eventually, it'll probably trigger a volcanic winter lasting several years. Mass starvation, ecosystem collapse, the usual." One of the Colmex rippled nervously, its bioluminescent patterns flickering in distress. "The usual?" It gurgled through its translator. "Oh yes," Easton said cheerfully. "We've got quite the collection of extinction threats. Want the full list?" We brought charts. Before anyone could object, Madeline projected a holographic timeline above the conference table. Earth's 4.5 billion year history spiraled outward in glowing bands of color, each punctuated with ominous red markers. "So, starting from the beginning," she began, adopting the tone of a university lecturer, "we've had at least 5 major extinction events. The Ordovician Silurian, about 443 million years ago, killed off roughly 85% of marine species. Excellent for evolutionary pressure, really opened up new ecological niches." The Vethari delegate made a sound like wind chimes in a hurricane. "You speak of this as if it's positive? Well, without it, we wouldn't have gotten the diversification that led to terrestrial vertebrates," Easton pointed out. "No extinction event, no evolutionary pressure, no humans eventually. So, silver lining." Madeline continued scrolling through her presentation. "Then the late Devonian, the Permian Triassic, that's the big one, wiped out about 96% of all marine species and 70% of terrestrial vertebrates. We call it the Great Dying." "You named it," the Praxian whispered. "We name all of them," Easton said. "Helps keep track. The Triassic-Jurassic extinction, the Cretaceous-Paleogene event, that's the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. 66 million years ago, left a crater 180 kilometers wide. The Colmex had stopped glowing entirely, which their species only did in states of extreme shock." Madeline zoomed in on the more recent timeline. "Of course, those are just the ancient ones. In recorded human history, we've had numerous close calls. The Toba supervolcano eruption 74,000 years ago nearly wiped out our own species. Reduced the human population to maybe 10,000 individuals. And you survived?" the Vethari asked weakly. "Obviously," Easton grinned. "We're very stubborn. Also lucky. Mostly stubborn, though. Then there's the ongoing threats," Madeline continued, pulling up a new chart that made the alien delegates recoil. "We've currently identified 2,000 potentially hazardous asteroids, any one of which could cause a regional or global catastrophe. We track them all, of course. Built an entire planetary defense network." "You built defenses against rocks from space." The Praxian's translator barely captured the disbelief in the question. "Well, yes. After the dinosaurs, we figured it was prudent." Madeline shrugged. "We've also got 1,500 active volcanoes, 20 supervolcanoes, and we live on tectonic plates that regularly shift and cause massive earthquakes. The Pacific Ring of Fire alone." "Stop. Please stop." The Vethari delegate had shifted to a deep purple color, indicating severe stress. "How do your people exist in such conditions? Why haven't you evacuated your planet?" Easton and Madeline exchanged puzzled glances. Evacuate Earth, Easton said slowly. Why would we do that? It's our home, Madeline added, as if this explained everything. Besides, it made us what we are. Every extinction event, every natural disaster, every close call with cosmic annihilation, it all pushed us to adapt, to innovate, to survive. Your planet is actively trying to kill you, one of the Colmex burbled. Yeah, pretty much always has been, Easton admitted. That's just Tuesday for us. Madeline pulled up another chart. Would you like to hear about the smaller scale disasters? We average about 150 magnitude 6 or higher earthquakes per year, 15 to 20 major volcanic eruptions, hundreds of severe storms. No, all four alien delegates shouted in unison. The Praxians stood on trembling legs. I came here to assess Earth's suitability for inclusion in the Protected Biospheres program. Species whose planets are too stable for them to develop proper survival traits. We thought your world, with its unusual diversity, might qualify. Oh, Madeline said, her expression brightening. That's actually very flattering. But now I understand, the Praxian continued, that Earth doesn't need protection. Earth is the thing other planets need protection from. Your world is a crucible of extinction, and somehow you've thrived in it. Easton stood, extending his hand for the traditional human farewell. So, we're not eligible for the program? The Vethari had already begun backing toward the exit. Absolutely not. In fact, we're creating a new designation specifically for Earth, Extreme Survival Zone. We'll be warning fragile species to avoid it entirely. As the alien delegates fled the chamber, Madeline turned to Easton with a slight smile. Should we have mentioned the gamma-ray burst potential from that nearby magnetar? Easton checked his watch. Probably for the best we didn't. Besides, that's only a concern over the next 100,000 years or so. True, Madeline agreed, gathering her notes. No sense worrying them about long-term threats. Outside the chamber, they could hear the Colmex asking station security about the fastest route to their ship. Easton chuckled. Think we scared them off permanently? Definitely, Madeline said. But hey, at least they understand now why humans are the way we are. Forged by extinction, tempered by disaster. Too stubborn to die. Exactly, she grinned. Just another day representing humanity. They walked toward the exit, leaving behind a holographic Earth still spinning on the display. A beautiful blue marble that had tried to kill its inhabitants a dozen different ways and somehow created the most persistent species in the galaxy instead.